That's the thing about parenting, though, is like we've talked about it. Like
you have to kind of.
and there's no.
Well, I mean, not tell your kid you're gonna die.
There really is no manual. I mean, no matter how great of a parent you are, there's going to be a moment where you don't say the right thing or you don't handle something as well as you want to. That's life. That's being a human being. And I used to be very critical of my parents as a smart ass kid who thought I knew everything. You know, like, oh, I'll never do this or that, or you did this wrong, or you did. When you become a parent and you realize that every kid has a different personality, you realize there's no rule book, there's no answer sheet, there's no.
You're playing by ear.
I mean, obviously there's guidelines, like you don't want to beat your child, but like it's not always clear. What the quote unquote right answer is. So yeah, your parents are human beings who did their best in that moment.
Welcome to Just Weirdly Blended. I'm Jesse.
And I'm Tom.
That was our new intro. Thanks to our buddy John DeLeon.
Yeah, thank you, John. New sound. Same old guys.
Yeah. I know. When it started, even though we had been talking, like we started getting this going about an hour ago. And so, yeah, it's been about an hour, huh?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, with some pre-production work.
Yeah. I, for whatever reason,
expected the same old music.
I did.
I know. Everybody out there is probably saying the same thing.
So it threw me off for a half a second.
Yeah.
I was like, and then I was like thinking it was going to go way longer.
Uh-huh.
I was like, watch, because when we were like testing, we're like, okay, no, the length's good. And then
anything new, you're never quite sure about until it plays all the way out.
Then I thought I was going to play like 50 seconds or whatever. I got like nervous for a minute. I was like, oh, dude, this thing's still going on.
Yeah, I think it was good. Good. So, I mean, hopefully everybody likes it. And it's not like, oh, man, that's not the same. Yeah. I know there was a podcast that we both liked that I listened to, and they changed it up, and I was like, man.
But they changed it up like, I don't know. It just doesn't fit the style of what that podcast.
The content matched the old sound that they used. And so, yeah, that broke my heart.
Yeah, you broke my heart.
You hear that, Sammy the Bull? You broke my heart, bro.
We need to get him to listen.
I love that. Yeah, that's a good podcast. Seriously, you guys. This is like the 50th time I mentioned it. You guys need to listen to that podcast.
Yeah, Our Thing. With Sammy the Bull.
Yeah.
Produced by Zsa Zsa Gabor.
Zsa Zsa Gabor.
Jr.
Yeah.
It was like Zsa Zsa Gabor.
I think, Zsa Zsa Gabor.
Something.
Wasn't Zsa Zsa Gabor like a thing? Like, wasn't that a person that did like?
Yeah, I think she was. Wasn't she like a fashionista?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Right? Is that the word?
The fashionista. Yeah, like she was. I don't know. She made clothes or wore other people's clothes or what she did, but I've heard that name before for sure.
Let me ask.
Google's going to tell.
Who is Zsa Zsa Gabor?
According to Wikipedia, Zsa Zsa Gabor was a Hungarian-American socialite and actress.
Oh, yeah. So
sisters were actresses Eva and Magda Gabor. Gabor competed in
Jeez, I don't need to know all that.
Sorry.
Yeah. She was pretty in her day.
But she was a very pretty actress. Oh, yeah. Zsa Zsa Gabor. So
what would be a term for pretty for back then?
She
was a real fox.
She's a real looker.
Yeah.
My peeps.
I don't know what she looks like now, or she's probably dead. I think
she might be dead.
She might be.
That's
super
why
dead,
it's Junior. No, I don't know.
I wonder if there's a relation there.
There's got to be. Like Gabor, is that a real Zsa Zsa Gabor? Is that like an everyday name?
It must be a Hungarian. Unless that's like a typical Hungarian
name.
Or
Zsa Zsa even the real name?
Our Hungarian listeners out there, is that a typical Hungarian name?
According to our demographics data, we have one Hungarian out there listening. So
I don't even know if we do.
To that Hungarian, Zsa Zsa.
Thanks for listening.
A normal name. Yeah. Well, at one time we had some.
They're going to come back with, yes, that's a normal name. My name is Zsa Zsa.
They're going to be like, yeah, your stupid name.
You're our negative 1% woman that listens.
Yeah. Thank you.
No, we get some women listeners.
We yeah.
It
might have been our
wives,
my mom or our wives at one time.
I know it's not my wife.
No, Blanca doesn't listen.
I just had a conversation with my wife this morning. So it's season 5.
Yeah, guys, it's season 5.
We're 81 in. 81 this is 81st
episodes in. Can you believe it? We're still doing this thing after 81 episodes.
I wonder how many people would have gave up because it's not like we got this huge following.
No. For you 3 people out there that listen from the beginning to Mike, Mike, who's going to listen to this?
I'm really going to push a little more.
Sure.
This, at least I'm going to try. I said that last season too, but I didn't.
Yeah, it's a fun thing to do.
It is fun.
Like at this point, we're in it money. Like, yeah, not a lot, but
I know,
enough. Like, we might as well have fun.
Hundreds.
Yeah,
hundreds of dollars.
We're in the whole $500.
We're using a new camera.
Yeah, we have a new camera, new sound. Same old studio, same old guys.
Yep. Can't even say I paid for the camera, to be honest. Dell sent it to me.
Comp. Yeah.
Yeah. They sent me to try it out. So I thought, let me try it out.
Yeah.
It's from work. We're not ever going to use it at work.
Pretend. This is we're sponsored by Dell now. They sent us a camera.
That'd be badass.
That'd be cool. Dell, we're open to ideas.
We need one sponsor.
Yeah, anybody.
Yeah, it'd be like, I don't know.
Yeah, we haven't. I haven't completely quit drinking, but I don't drink like I used to.
Yeah.
How funny would that have been though? If our sponsor had been
Canadian
like
Club.
A whiskey,
dude. That'd be
and then
sick.
we're not drinking anymore.
I know, it's all morning.
To Canadian Club and this water that I'm drinking.
Yeah, that's me right now.
No, I'll still speak. Every once in a while I still have a drink, and the Canadian Club, man, like they make some good whiskey for
dude for the
price.
For the price, you can't beat it. Really, the smoothness.
Yeah, last year we did a taste test between
Canadian Club, Proper 12, and was Jameson in there?
I feel like it was Jameson,
or was it just those two?
Because I know what we didn't do it with Crown Royal, because we know Crown Royal is good, but it's like a fortune. And
but I did find that Canadian Club was better than the Proper 12.
Maybe it was just Proper 12.
I think it was just
those two. But yeah, like we really liked Proper 12, and nothing against them. They are good. But then we went back to our Old Faithful, and
you could see the difference.
Canadian Club was just like, we both looked at each other at the same moment, like, this is pretty good.
Like, yeah, because then when I switched back to the Proper 12, it just the flavor was not
There's
there.
some connoisseurs out there, they'll probably be like, Canadian Club, but no,
or they're probably like, well, because you didn't air,
right?
You need a swirl spit.
I don't have like a million hours to drink a glass of whiskey.
I know. I have 10 minutes to drink 5 glasses of
I
whiskey.
have 10 minutes to drink a bottle, folks. So
this podcast is an hour. I need an hour to drink that whole bottle.
No, we used to have fun on the podcast, though.
Yeah, we stopped. We don't have fun anymore.
Our lives are boring, but
oh no, we were living crazy lives.
Yeah, it was wild, jet setting around the world.
Yeah, like fuck. Like last night, dude, I was living the best life, building a cedar planter box. Yeah, for the wife.
Me too. I was reaming my children over being little dicks. So
that's something like. It's always like a touchy way to like
come into kids. A podcast.
Well, no. Like when you have to like ream your kids, kind of.
Yeah.
That's always like a weird. There's no way to like approach that.
No, it's just you got to go in mad. You got to go in hot, so they know this is serious.
Well, like if you go in too hot, then you're kind of like, okay, you're kind of blowing things out of proportion, maybe.
Well, Blanca does not feel.
I go in hot,
so I do too. But I think I'm good. I'm gonna give myself props in the sense like I love my kids, and it hurts me to. Yeah, they're okay. It hurts me to have to be angry with them.
This hurts me more than it hurts you.
I do kind of come around to be like, I love you guys, and the reason I'm so angry is because I love you, and it also makes me upset that I even have to say this. It's kind of the thing. Blanca's like, no, I want you to cry. Like, you did not do the right thing. You deserve this. Like,
see, moms can do that.
She's right. Like, and I don't. Because even when my kids at school, sometimes I'm like, I don't want to be too hard. But no, like kids, it's good to let them know when the rule lies and where it's like beyond that, no, black and white. Like they get it.
Yeah.
If you don't do that, they get confused and it doesn't
Especially
work.
when they're younger.
Yeah. So.
Because they're still molding them.
Oh, my boy. I tell you. Yeah. Yesterday, he was going to go spend the night with his grandparents. They were out camping at a local like campground and RVing, I should say. And they were going to have all the grandkids out. So my brother's kids and Elliot. Elena is too old. She doesn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Elliot didn't really want to go, but it was one of those times as a parent, I'm like, no, you're going to go spend time with your grandparents and your cousins, and you're going to do this.
Well, yeah, I think it would be, it's a memory.
I mean, I didn't even leave it as an option. It's just like, no, you're going to do this. Well, we get a call last night, probably around 6:30, 7 o'clock. Elliot wants to come home. So I'm going to bring him to you. I was
Nope.
like, no, we'll come get him.
Oh,
And my dad's like, well, we'll just meet you halfway. I'm like, no. You don't need to do a thing.
how far out were they?
It's over there in Burbank. It's
that's not too
not
bad.
very far.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
where
yeah.
we would go launch the kayaks, the boat.
Oh, okay.
That area.
That
so
area. Yeah.
Hood Park. But I was just pissed. Like instantly, I could feel my blood pressure has been good. I felt it spike. I felt myself like breathing hard.
Well, because you get those moments where
It
you
just
get so mad.
infuriated me.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's a sweet kid. He's a
He
good
is.
kid.
He
But
is.
man, I was like, you are a brat. Like, I cannot believe that he would behave in a way to his grandparents to make them feel like he didn't want to spend time with them.
Yeah, like he was like something was more important than that.
Yeah, and it was his stupid video games and his YouTube
Yeah,
was more important
Sorry,
than
you're
anything
grounded.
else. Yeah, and it's like, so we got out there and he started in with just like, yep, my dad made me come here and blah blah blah. I took
when
him
you were
around-
there, he was saying that.
Oh yeah.
See, when you had kind
it
of
was still
okay.
yeah. I mean, like he said
I
that.
thought he had said that to them, but not
he did.
to you.
No, he did, and then he repeated it
Oh,
like an idiot, not realizing I was already pissed and ready to blow on him anyway.
Elliot, you got to read the room.
So yeah, no, he did not. He didn't to his grandparents. I mean, it was step by step by step the wrong thing to say. I took him around the corner of the trailer and pretty much made him cry.
Yeah.
I just
Well,
like,
you throw that dad
This
voice in
is
there. And,
insane. I was just like, this is the most rude stuff I have ever heard. I can't believe you're behaving this way.
Yeah.
I am super disappointed. Like, how dare you, pretty much.
yeah.
So then I went back and talked to everybody, and he was around the back corner. So I gave him a few minutes to like cry it out, and I was like, now get your shit together and let's go. Like, you're going to go sit down. You're going to talk to everybody. You're going to be a nice kid,
Yeah.
and you're not going to behave this way. We get back over there, and my dad's like, my parents are the typical grandparents, love their grandkid to a
Oh,
fault.
you're
They're not going to ever think, oh, what a brat. They're just going to be like, oh, he's just blah, blah, blah.
yeah.
like, no,
They
he's
always
fucking
have
rude.
those like cool excuses for the kids.
Yeah. So he's sitting
You were
there.
the
and
same
my
way.
dad's, yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I don't give a crap. This is my kid.
yeah.
So my dad's like, oh, yeah, well, you had fun. We took you down to the river. That was fun. And he's like, no.
Oh my god.
And then my mom's like,
Elliot.
brings up at a different point. She bought him some clothes. And our fault. They're not out of the bag yet. He hasn't really seen the clothes. My fault. This is like my parenting where I'm like, okay, that's on me.
Wait,
But
so they bought him clothes?
she bought him clothes. She
Okay.
asked, like, did you like the clothes? Now, the best thing to do, not honest thing, the best thing to do is to lie and go like, yeah, I love the clothes. He just goes, not really. I'm like, are you trying to be a little brat?
God.
Man, it made me, I'm just like livid. I'm boiling sitting there listening to him. And then he starts looking at me and slapping himself in the face.
Oh yeah. That's where it's like, okay.
I don't spank much, but I bent down to him and said, if you want to get hit, I can make that happen.
Yeah.
And he stopped. And just like, what are you going for, bud? Like, where do you want this to end? Because I'm running hot and it's one freaking move.
You're one sentence away.
Listen, bro.
How was Blanca's reaction to it?
Oh, she was pissed.
Yeah.
The disrespect
Because that, yeah,
is infuriating. And
that's what it is.
And it was disrespect. We both understood that he didn't get that that's really what he was doing.
Yeah, because
we
he's
understand
young.
he needs to
You got to
learn
remember, people.
but
He's
he
8.
will not learn it unless he feels guilty for doing what he did. What he did was wrong, and it was infuriating. And
Yeah.
so he felt guilty. Like, we explained point by point why it was rude and
Yeah.
why it will never happen again. And he got to cry his way home in the car, and he got to feel bad. And I was like, it will never happen again, will it? Like, if
Yeah.
I tell you you're going to spend the night, which I'm not going to do, it's obvious. It's out in the open. He doesn't like to spend the night with them.
Yeah.
So,
Well, sometimes, but like you mentioned,
hot advantage.
having those moments with your grandparents is, it's
you
special.
don't have it forever.
Not even that, just those memories, even if it's your cousins or whatever.
Right.
I mean,
They're the memories.
video games, they're not
They're
going
gonna last.
nowhere.
I'm
They're
not saying that they can't be a part of your life.
Well, no, and they're not going anywhere. It's not like
Right.
these video games are, he's coming home. They're going to be there.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
YouTube's
I
gonna
used
be
to
there.
play 007. I
Mhm.
can play that today if I want to.
Yeah.
What I can't do is go and hang out with my grandma
Yeah.
I can't ask her a question.
Yeah, you can't play. You
Or
can't
spend the
play
night
with
in
her.
house as a 37-year-old man. I can't do that anymore. But it's just like,
let's play video games
I
together.
think and I don't like to bring that kind of stuff up to him because he's a really sensitive kid and he overthinks it. But I had to. In that point, I'm like, buddy, she's not going to be here forever. They're not going to always be here, and you're going to look back and you're going to feel bad because I feel bad.
That's that's one of those memories. That's one of those things that's really hard to.
It's hard.
I don't know, bringing up like the possibility of death. Like I did that once, but I didn't do it purposely. Like,
right.
Elena was really young. I mentioned something and then she asked a question, and instead of being a parent, like, oh no, blah, 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 I was like,
live forever.
Yeah. I was like, well, no, one day I'll probably be dead.
Yeah.
But I said dead, like, one day I'll pass.
I'll die. I'm running for that
dead.
doorway.
I'll be hella dead. I'll be so dead.
I'll be the deadest there ever has been.
Like worms will be coming out of my eyes.
I'll
No,
be the most
but I
dead.
said, I'll die one day. I'll be dead. And she starts crying.
Yeah,
and I felt terrible.
Yeah.
Like,
well, honey, you'll be dead too someday.
Yeah.
Just keep it rolling.
Just keep
Everybody
going.
will be dead.
I keep digging the hole.
The dog you love will be dead.
Yeah, so like I was like, damn. And it's weird because there's those situations where I'll go back and I'll think about things I've said or how I said them.
Right.
And then I'm thinking, was that one of those core moments where it's like I kind of like altered my kid's like fucking personality? Do you ever, what I mean?
Yeah, that's the thing about parenting though, is like we've talked about it. Like
you have to kind of.
And there's no.
Well, I mean, not tell your kid you're gonna die.
There really is no manual. I mean, no matter how great of a parent you are, there's going to be a moment where you don't say the right thing or you don't handle something as well as you want to. That's life. That's being a human being. And I used to be very critical of my parents as a smart ass kid who thought I knew everything. Like, oh, I'll never do this or that, or you did this wrong, or you did. When you become a parent and you realize that every kid has a different personality, you realize there's no rule book. There's no answer sheet. Yeah. There's no
You're playing by ear.
I mean, obviously there's guidelines. Like you don't want to beat your child, but like it's not always clear what the quote unquote right answer is. So yeah, your parents are human beings who did their best in that moment. They're going to get stuff wrong. But I don't think you can understand that until you become a parent. Yeah. Maybe some people can, but I didn't. No, I have my own kids. Like,
it's just weird because it's like parenting's like customer service.
It is. What's going to make you happy in this moment?
Because
teach you something.
Well, no, like you're getting these different personalities. You know, I have multiple kids at home.
Right.
Each of them just totally different. Some in aspects they are the same.
Right.
But you got one that's just way quiet, so you never know what's going on with that one.
Right.
You got one that's doesn't know when to stop saying something when they should. They don't know their boundaries there. Then you got one that's kind of spoiled, and and it's funny, the spoiled one, because I saw this thing. I want to say last night or this morning. It says, "What's your toxic trait?" My toxic trait is I get upset because my kid's spoiled. But I'm the one who spoils them.
Yeah, right.
It's my fault. I get mad, but at the end of the day, I'm the one who's fucking. I spoiled him.
Exactly. That's one of the reasons I was so mad. It was his fault for behaving that way to his grandparents. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I give you the video games. I give you the TV in your freaking bedroom. I let you do whatever you want. It's on me. Ultimately, as a parent, it's on me that you feel so free as a 7, 8, 9. How the hell old are they? 9-year-old kid, 8-year-old kid.
Next.
That you just have this life where you get to just lay around and do whatever you want. I'm failing you. I told both of them last night, I'm like, this is not sustainable. The way that you two live, where you just are in your rooms doing what you want, we are failing you as parents because you're not going to have what it takes to make it when you're adults.
Yeah.
You're just not. Real life is not getting to sit around all day doing whatever you want.
I know. As they see us on our phones and shit.
Well, and that's the truth too. And I was open about that. I said, I know your mom and I do come home some days and turn the TV on and like,
but they don't know what's going on in between.
But it's like, right. But we also have to get out and work.
Yeah.
To get there. Yeah. You go to school. It's different. Like the reality of being a kid, you don't know what life is. And I was like, I threw at them too. I'm like, sometimes when we tell you to do something, you don't ask a question, because that was another thing that happened. Elena's little friend from down the road from you was over.
Yeah.
And she has a tendency to be a little rude. So when she doesn't like something she hears, Blanca was already running hot. I wasn't there for this. Elena didn't answer her phone.
Yes.
This
Terrible.
girl's mom.
My daughter's terrible at doing that, answering her phone. Text, anything.
I had talked to her early in the day. Mom's mad. She was trying to get a hold of you. We were at the same house. We could have gone down and talked to her, but
but still,
whatever. The point is, Mom's right. She was trying to use the phone that we pay for her to answer when we call, and to be there when this friend gets there to help, because we have 1 billion dogs in the house from our fostering thing, and we don't like them to go all nuts. And this particular kid loves animals, which is great, but she tends to get them all riled up. And then it's a while to get them all calmed down.
Oh, I know exactly. And I have 2 dogs, so I'm okay.
Well, you know how it works.
Oh, dude.
So we are gone dealing with the Elliot thing. We're picking him up from this park, and we're on our way back home and realize it's time for her to get picked up. So her mom's going to be there. And we are already knowing that Elena's not going to hear and answer the door. The dogs bark like crazy. You can hear the doorbell. There's 1 billion things to cue you. Someone's here. Of course, being teenage kids, they don't hear it. So Blanca, I stayed in the car because we were then going to have to drive her home, this friend home.
Oh, she didn't spend the night?
No.
Oh, okay.
Blanca goes in to tell them, pretty hot already, like, get your shit together. Like, it's time to go. Your mom was here. And she looks at it and goes, she never told me she was coming. And Blanca lost it. She just said, like, if you ever talk like that in our house again, you won't come back. And it doesn't matter if she told you or not. She's your mother, and you show her respect is a big thing for us last night. She's like,
word of the day, respect.
Well, pretty much it's like, you're going to show, whether you respect them or not in our house, you're going to show them respect, or we're not going to see you anymore. Like, it's pretty much straight up like, we don't want to hear your crap against your mom ever. In this house, if you're here, none of it.
No,
if your mom says to get, you get your crap and you get out.
Yeah.
It's like, it's black and white. There's no discussion. And we told the kids last night, that's how we are too. We love you and we give you a lot. The second we say to do something, this like game of like waiting around or back and forthing is done.
Yeah.
You get it done the second we ask. And that's it, because that's respecting your parent. And we give you respect. Like, oh
yeah, no, I've been there.
Fuming. I tell you.
No, we've been there.
Luckily, they're good kids.
I think the kids are scared of me because I don't like to.
No.
I don't like. I'm very calm for the most part, but when I have to like multiply, like we have to ask like more than.
Right.
So I'll ask a couple, like, "Hey, I need you to do this." Oh, okay, and then I'll wait, and then if it's something I want done quick, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
If it's not done, like I'm like, "Hey."
Right.
And get up off your butt.
Right.
Like, I need you to fucking get this going. I don't say fucking, but like.
No, I know what you mean.
But like, you know,
we say it here.
Yeah.
We vent it here.
But I, I'll get on it. And so they do a pretty good job. The Chloe thing, we had a situation like that where she left the house pretty disrespectful, like, and my wife doesn't. No, Alicia doesn't mess with that.
We are married to Hispanic women who don't put up with the shit.
No, they don't. And I don't know the whole situation. I don't remember. I was probably drunk, or I wasn't there. It was during the Halloween party. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was
okay.
No, I didn't get. Anyway. Long story short, she said something. She didn't leave right. It was very disrespectful. Alicia was basically like, well, then you can leave.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want you here.
Right.
And so she did not come to our house for a few months.
Yeah.
Because it was like,
well, that's fine with us. Like,
she asked, Elena asked, hey, can Chloe come over? Alicia's like, nope.
Yeah.
No, she can't. Like, she was very rude and this, like, I don't want that here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had a side conversation with Elena, like, hey, eventually she should come back, but she needs to apologize. Like,
right.
It was,
right.
being rude. Like, that's not okay. And, so Chloe knows not to fuck around in our house.
Well, and that's the thing is, like, it's just respect.
It is. Because like, Alicia's had that same convo. Like,
right.
This is your mom.
Exactly.
Like,
whether she demands it or not, and that's none of our business. And she's a nice lady. Like, I don't have anything against them. I don't have anything against this kid. The kid is who she is. Yeah. But I don't want to hear you give your mom a hard time when you're in my house.
Well, it's so funny because I want to say Chloe's mom came to our house one time, and she, she just came into our house without, knocking anyway. She was, trying to get Chloe to get coming, and Chloe was being who she was, being upset or whatever, and Alicia was snapped on her in front of her mom.
Yeah,
like, no, you don't talk to your mom like that. Like,
yeah, her mom's pretty cool with that kind of stuff, though. I mean, they never like.
Oh, Chloe.
She doesn't get mad at you for.
Then she goes and her stepdad beats the fuck out of her. I'm just kidding. No. I don't know if he does.
Is that a stepdad? Oh
no, he's not a step. So that's not her like.
Biological
parents.
No, I mean it's
he had her working outside one day, like picking up leaves, because it was like, for whatever, she goes to like a private type school or something, so they didn't have school that day. And I'm like looking out, I work at home, so I'm looking out my window getting coffee or doing something, and I'm like, is Chloe working? And then he's like,
she was not having a good time.
She was not having a fun time. No.
Well, and it's kids, and like look, it's nothing against the kid. The kid is the kid. They are who they are, and it's the adults' jobs to teach them how to be responsible adults,
whether it's your kids or not. Like,
and if this culture that we live in now,
well, that's what I was just gonna say.
We live in a very sad cultural time, I think, where parents are so quick to defend their kids,
and it's easy to defend your kids because you can get upset. Like,
well, yeah, but if your kid's being a brat, your kid's being a brat.
Yeah, call it like it is.
And that kind of behavior is not helping us culturally. Well, Look at how adults behave in today's society.
Well, I think what the issue is too is back in the day, like if you were being disrespectful, you had other adults to check your kid. So, and other adults wouldn't get upset because you're getting checked by someone. They're like, no, you don't act that way. Nowadays, if another adult check someone else's kid. So if someone was to say something to Elliot,
right,
and I'm not saying this is how you guys would be, but there are parents now that when that happens, they're like, you don't talk to my kid.
Me getting ready to kick your ass because at your house, Elliot was disrespectful.
Yeah.
And you tell Elliot, like, you knock it off, buddy, if you want to be here.
Oh, yeah.
And then I come at you, bro.
Yeah. So, like, and I've had to do that where I've had to tell the kids to keep down.
I expect you to. I like... That's the thing.
Elliot, he's a good kid when he's at our house.
But he's a kid. He's a kid. Kids do things.
Kids we've had to have conversations like with the JJ, because there'll be times where he's just like,
yeah.
This like, well, no, you asked someone to come over. You need to be respectful enough, like, or they're not coming over again. Like, don't do this. Like, this is what you wanted. You wanted to hang out. Now hang out.
Yeah. Right.
Fine.
Yep.
Like,
well, and that's the thing. Like, and the nice thing is,
get your ass outside.
The big thing with an adult, you don't do it for a power play. You don't do it just to be degrading to a kid or to be like have a power trip. But there's reasons. Like, kids do need to learn that when an adult says something, I mean, within reason, obviously.
Yes, exactly.
But you do it. The pool is a perfect example. I've had numerous kids that came to play in the pool, and a parent said to get out. Or a parent said something, or we said something about the pool, like we need to be done. And the best thing to do, anytime they're like fucking around and not willing to do it, is go, it's time to get out. If you don't get out now, you're not ever going to come into the pool again. Yeah. Instantly they come out of the pool. Hey, it's like, but that's the thing is, like, if they don't learn respect as little kids,
they're not going to learn it.
Why would older. They? Yeah. My dad's dealing with a situation. He's got neighbors right now.
Mm-hmm.
This guy, the other day, they have an RV and they're packing it to go. He parked the RV in front of my dad's driveway.
Okay.
He blocked my dad's driveway to park his RV.
Like he left it there?
Yeah. So that they could pack it. It's parked.
He didn't like knock like, hey, is it cool if I park here, bro?
This guy has been a pain in the ass for as long as he's been around. The daughter, so I'm not going to talk all the details because this is a really messy thing, but garbage situation.
Yeah.
This kid that lives in this house is the daughter of the parents that own this house. The dad's no longer around.
Oh, is this the one that we had talked about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just despicable behavior.
Yeah.
Act
no
like
respect and
freaking children. They've been parking their crap in front of my dad's house for months. This guy has work trucks, everything. And it's one thing to park. It's another thing to just act like you own the thing.
Yeah.
And so my dad has a really long curved property and there's a sidewalk all around the edge. I mean, we're talking 150 feet of sidewalk
super
space.
Nice.
And my dad's told the guy, and I know that my dad can probably come across angry because he's like me. We don't really like conflict, but when it has to happen, it has to happen.
Yeah.
So I told the guy, look, I don't want to see your work truck in front of my window every day. Like, we have people that come and visit. We've got a need for our piece of
this
sidewalk.
is my sidewalk. This is my area.
And if you want to park on our side of the street, that's fine. Do it a little bit down so that if somebody comes, or I'm not staring at your work truck all the time.
Yeah.
So the guy kind of did that. But the attitude that this girl whose parents actually own the house, 20-something-year-old woman.
God, I just
almost 30, probably 30-year-old woman, actually. Like a full-grown adult who doesn't know how to behave.
You said 20s, full-grown adult.
Jesus Christ. And like she, yesterday, or whenever they're getting ready to go to the park, they had to leave. Like they were going to a game, their grandkids' game, baseball game, whatever. And he's looking, and this RV is blocking the driveway. And my dad looks at them and says, I told you before, if you're going to park in front of us, go down there, and you're blocking my driveway. The little brat's out there. And she goes, you don't own the street. That was her reaction as a full-grown adult woman.
Bitch.
And so
I was like, bitch. Well,
and my dad was friends with her dad, and there's a lot of shit that happened there. So he went off on her and basically told her, you're the reason that your dad's not here. And well, she was. I don't give a shit what the situation was. She said some horrible things to him. He confided in my dad. The neighbor next door came out, and they were both on her ass. And then the guy comes out, hey, you don't need to talk to her. I'm like, no, dude, I told you to park your shit down the fucking road.
Your dad lays mouth.
And so he was, I mean, he wouldn't do that, but he was telling him, like, I've told you how many fucking times.
Yeah.
No, dude, we don't own the road, but if you don't move this thing, we're going to call the police, and something's going to happen. And anyway, long story short, the guy did move the thing. He lied to my dad. There's one truck in front of their truck on my dad's side of the street. Everything else is open. There's no one else parked there. And he goes, we don't know who owns that truck. Some fat ass gal comes out of their house and goes and gets in the truck. There's no reason for that kind of behavior. That's what I'm talking about.
Whose truck this is.
That is normal adult behavior today. In today's world, fuck everybody else is the attitude.
That annoys me, and I'm not even involved. You don't get to talk to me
that way. You're a 30-year-old man against an almost 70-year-old man. Show some freaking respect. Like, there was a point in time where you would have respected someone older than you. And the idea of being disrespectful would have never crossed your mind. What changed? What changed in our culture?
YouTube. No, I'm just playing.
No, that's part of it.
Well, no, I just think it's not. I just like to say that YouTube, but no, I think it's just the way society, like you said earlier, like the way society is now. It's just
no one can say
everyone
anything.
has the woe is me mentality. The fucking what is it? Victims mentality.
Oh yeah, you don't tell my kid.
Like, well, you know, you're not allowed to do that. You know, I have rights. I got rights too.
So another issue. My dad
own this road. I own your house.
Well, yeah, you don't own the street. I'm asking you to not block my driveway. I do own my driveway.
Well, no, and it's illegal. I want to say to block someone's driveway.
I don't give a fuck if it's legal or illegal.
Well, no, like, you know what I mean.
You move your shit out from in front of my driveway. Like I don't know.
Well, your tire's next to my. Sorry, I didn't mean to pop it.
Well, I guess eventually he just told the guy, like, look, we have to coexist. We have to live around each other, so we got to decide how we're going to do this. Are we going to be on each other all the time, or are we just going to show each other a little respect?
Right. And that's all. That's all it is.
Do I park my shit in front of your house? Do I block your driveway with my truck?
Your dad should.
My dad never would.
I know he would
because he has decency. And
I'm going to be petty, and I'm going to park. That's what I would think.
But man, I'm like, I wish I had a little bit of like Sammy the Bull in me or something. Like, because I'm a polite guy that doesn't like to conflict with people. But it would be nice to like just have that feeling of like, nah, you're not gonna fuck with me, and be able to like really do something about it.
Just like, okay, this ain't gonna happen again, right?
My dad had another situation years ago where a kid threw a rock at his car.
Oh, fuck.
And you know, it's like those are moments where it's like, I mean, something should happen.
Yeah.
Something should happen to you where you learn in that moment, oh, there's a reason you don't throw a rock in an adult man's car.
Well, you know, like they say, karma.
Oh my God. But it doesn't happen anymore. Well, karma doesn't exist anymore.
Karma does. I think it just takes long. I think karma happens. It's just eventually, I'm sure that kid's window got shattered or something.
But did he connect?
No,
but it's
of course not.
Fucking actions that causes that.
I think that's the thing with now, people don't have those.
We
they
all
don't
make
connect to it.
mistakes, and kids are kids. But
No one's being held accountable, though.
If no
There's no
one's
accountability.
teaching the kids basic decency and respect, like our culture has lost the concept of respecting your elders.
Yeah.
And not everybody, don't get me wrong. But
so one of the things I like Elena, she's in her room all the time.
Yeah.
Or at our house, she'll do that. She'll go into her room. But anyway, technology. Yeah. But when we have people over, she tends to dive into her room.
Yeah.
But my thing is, when people come over, you need to at least come out and say hi.
Right.
And so that's something like that really annoys me when the kids don't do that.
Right.
Like it's like a pet peeve.
Yeah.
So I'm always like, hey, your tias and everybody's here. Like, go say hi.
Right.
And she does. She doesn't get all pissed off. And if she does get pissed off, obviously she just looks the same.
Yeah. Right. Deadpan.
Yeah. She's just like, okay.
Yeah.
But no, she'll go up there. She'll say hi, do the rounds. And I expect the same when it's time to leave.
Right.
Respect. Go say bye, thank you. Like, see you later, whatever.
Yep.
Because it's a respect thing.
Absolutely.
Like you said, you got to teach your kids these things,
right.
Disrespect, and why things are disrespectful. Like the kids know there's certain things I don't like. Kids, there's this like thing going around where people like will do something to their face, and I hate my face touched. I hate that.
Well,
right?
and to slap your parent in the face in any way.
No,
and
my son knows not to.
Have played
he's never like touched me in the face, but like, I don't like when the kids do that to each other. Like no, like you guys can play fight. I don't care. Just
but there's a level there.
There's disrespect where it's just like that's your boundaries. You're going over.
Right.
You're being disrespectful,
right?
And that's not okay.
But there are a lot of things on YouTube that are disrespect based.
They are.
Or there's a lot of stuff.
And they think it's funny because it can come across that way, but really it's like, come on, you don't talk to grandma this way. Or you doing it?
Catch Me Outside girl. Why put her on TV? Why
look at her now, though.
Give that kind of crap any airspace? Like
yeah.
We're getting what we're showing, and we're not teaching kids anymore expectations and behaviors and whatnot. Like we're choosing the world that we live in, and the world that we live in right now is a very negative place.
It is.
And I don't know, just a little more positivity.
Man, that really bugs me about that guy.
Oh, I'm also pissed about that. I'm just like, to be that disrespectful.
Sorry, I just started thinking about it. I was like, man, I don't know how I would handle that because, like, I don't know. You get to those points where, you reach your limit.
Yeah.
And you might snap on somebody.
Well, he did. And
hopefully things work out.
Well, the guy, I told my dad, I'm like, honestly, the fact that you said something, he probably won't want that reaction again. So even though he'll probably talk shit about you and stuff, he'll probably move his truck.
Let him.
But that's the thing.
He's going to talk shit anyway.
It just sucks to be put in the position where you've got to act like the angry old man when people are that disrespectful. But you should be adult enough to recognize that your behavior is trash and move your shit.
Dude, it's simple. It's simple. Would you want someone to do the same to you?
Exactly. Do unto others. It's in the fucking Bible.
It's in the Bible.
My God. Pardon me.
That's something
I'm hot this week. So
that's something they kept in the Bible. They didn't change that.
No, that never got changed. That one's been in there from day one. I think it's one of them commandments.
Do unto others as you do to yourself or something.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like,
you know what? I would block my own driveway.
People make mistakes. I can see you parking there and then like finding out, a neighbor's upset. Hey, I'm sorry, man. I'll move it.
Actually, when you had told me like they parked the RV, I was thinking it was just like, hey, we're loading this. Like, I didn't know there was that history of like, I'm a douchebag.
There's a lot of history there.
So it's like,
and it's just disrespect. Their kids run through everybody's yards. They leave trash in people's yards. One kid was going to rip their tree out because dad was a mean guy. And the kid goes, no, he's not the mean guy. Don't hurt his tree. Why would a kid hurt anybody's tree for any reason?
Good Lord.
That is respect. Stay out of other people's yards. Unless you know the people and they've welcomed you in, stay the fuck out. Be a vampire. Unless we welcome you in.
Well, I want to know.
My God.
I think I would watch that for a minute if someone came in my yard so angry that they're trying to rip my tree out. I'm like, bro, If you feel like digging, I got these holes back here you can dig.
Yeah.
It's your grave.
Exactly. Right. I mean, I'm going to bury you 6 feet under, you little prick. Like,
Hey,
oh my God, man.
Trying to rip a tree out, that just makes me laugh, kind of like.
No, but they're kids. That's the thing, is like, it's not their fault. It's not their fault that a 6, 7, 8-year-old doesn't know how to behave. It's their parents' fault.
Hey, little kid, you know, a tree's pretty rooted in the ground.
Well,
good luck.
And just the gall to think, oh, this guy is mean, I'm going to break his property. Okay, that turns into the 13-year-old that smashes a window, and the 14-year-old that steals a car, and the 18-year-old who serves a 20-year stint in prison.
Sometimes I wonder, do the parents know that this, you know?
Oh, they know.
Not, you know, like certain kids, like if you found out later on that Elliot was going around breaking windows or something, would that like throw you off though? Is what I'm saying.
I would be shocked because of his personality, but
that's what I'm saying.
He would learn his lesson.
Well,
fast.
Of course, but like, you know, sometimes I wonder if parents aren't being told either.
Oh, they know. These parents know.
Oh, those parents.
Every parent in this scenario knows. My parents unfortunately have a lot of low income apartments at the end of their street, and I don't have anything against low income, but
no, I know where you're at.
There are situations happening in these apartments. Kids are on 4-wheelers, like kid 4-wheelers, flying through that neighborhood without helmets on. Oh. And the neighbor guy told them, hey, you're going to get hurt, or you can't just drive through here like this. This is like, you're basically speeding on a vehicle you shouldn't even be on. And a parent came down and exploded on him. You don't tell my kid what to do, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
No,
because people who are parents.
You know how you stop that?
Oh, my God.
You get a cop friend, and then you get a strip, throw out that strip.
Yeah, blow the tires out.
Hey, slow down.
But sadly, the thing that Ben teaches the kids is a horrific accident where they lose a limb. And like, people grow up. Your kids aren't precious.
As a kid, as a kid, you know, I probably did some stupid shit.
Sure, we all did. It's not the kid's job to know where the lines are. It's adults' job to show them where the lines are.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I mean.
And that's not happening. I just like to throw a fit as a grown adult at another grown adult who's actually being the parent and watching your kids. Why are they out of your eyesight when they're on a motorized vehicle? And then
how old are these kids that are on these?
I don't know. I haven't seen them, but young enough, it's not right.
Yeah.
And old enough that it's not like CPS or anything. They called the cops, and the cops said, well, we can't do anything.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And that's what's garbage too. The cops' hands are tied in everything. So there's no consequence until a kid's 18 years old, and then the book gets thrown at them. We train them that there's no limit, no rule, no expectation, and then they get to a certain age, and their life is over. I don't get it. I don't understand.
Well, I mean, you think if cops were involved, they would do a little, hey, we're going to scare you a little bit.
They can't, I guess. I
just wonder,
I'm
not saying on all situations, but in like this situation, since it's like the 4-wheeler or whatever.
Yeah.
If it's law being broke, we get people like doing that around our neighborhood.
Right.
But it's not nearly as like that neighborhood where your dad's at. It's like, it's more tight, I guess. I don't know how to explain it, but like my neighborhood,
our houses are more rural, larger properties, less density. Theirs is a full on neighborhood. I mean, you're talking, which driveway after driveway after driveway. And nobody's watching. My dad's issues, no one's watching these kids.
No.
There's little kids at times on these things or playing in the street. So you've got little tiny tykes running around doing their stupid thing because they don't pay attention in between cars, whatever. And then you got a kid flying by at 20 miles per hour on a 4-wheeler.
The kid was probably like,
someone's going to
escape the house.
Yeah, no, seriously. This scenario happens day in and day out.
No, it's,
and they're just like,
I was one of those kids.
Not one adult. Around, and that's on the parents. That is 100% on the adults in the scenario.
Or at least our kids, if they want to or when they were younger driving their bikes, it's like, okay, you can do your bikes, just go down here.
But what would you do if your kids started fucking around somebody's
of course,
or what would you don't have to worry as much because your kids know the rules.
Well, no, if they didn't, they would learn.
And if a neighbor were pissed at your kid, would you blow up on the neighbor, or would you say, what the fuck did you do?
No, I wouldn't. It just depends on
kid.
It depends on the situation, really. If the kid was really legit not doing nothing and the guy blew up just because he's a dick, because you got neighbors like that where they're kind of
this can
obviously
happen.
That can happen, but
I do think you hear out the adult. I do think that there's a level in today's society where it's kind of that unified front. you kind of got to do with kids sometimes.
Well,
and
no,
like, I don't know.
No.
But you're right.
Like,
there are times where an
I
adult
think
can just be an asshole.
No, yeah, and I'm not saying this is this situation, but I'm saying in general, like if my kid's being a dick and doing stuff, and the kid he gets yelled at, like you shouldn't have fucking been doing that. I agree with him. Like you should,
right?
You know. Now, if he's trying to hit my kid, that's a whole different story. Well, you know what I mean?
But people don't do that anymore.
They need to, though. Some kids need whoopings.
Some kids do. You try to throw a rock at somebody's car, that ought to be a law. And my eyes, a random adult should be able to hit a kid if they're trying to seriously damage their property. That might stop a kid from doing it. Like, there's limits to this thing. I mean, like, you just got to stand there and let this happen and then take it to court.
At my last, before me and Alicia met, I was living in this townhouse, and there's these kids, and they were throwing rocks, and I just happened to be doing dishes, and like it was like a corner sink, and then off to the side was a window, and I could see, and they threw a rock. And they didn't know there was someone there. And so I fucking was like, hey, you know, threw out like a dad voice. And they're like, sorry. And they fucking run off.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You weren't sorry before when you thought nobody could see it.
Let me throw this rock back. Let me see if
let's take the thing that you like and break it to pieces and see how you feel. You know, that's the thing is
I've said that before.
Back to respect. Anyway.
No, I've had to do that like to my son.
Welcome to season 5.
I know. Tom's hot. Trying to calm him down.
Yesterday made me angry. He's like, I'm raging. I tell you.
He's a raging Cajun.
I just, it's nice to be a teacher because like, I feel like, you know, like I get at least a handful of kids. Like they learn how to be respectful. I think the school I work at's really good.
No, I do think in general there is a lack of respect amongst not only adults, but kids.
Yeah. It's just not happening the way it used to. I think
a lot of it is just a lot of softness going on in the world. Like everything's just offensive. Me, like you said, you don't know what to say now because you don't know if you're offending someone now.
Right. Like, kids can be offended.
And I get it. I get there's progressiveness and people are being progressive, but at the same time, like you said, you need to learn respect. There's certain things that are you just need to learn.
Rules are rules.
To make a society work.
Exactly.
We
all have to live together.
You need respect.
Absolutely.
In general. You can't, you know what? You're going to do stuff that people aren't going to like.
Right.
Even if you're fucking walking on eggshells and you're doing all this stuff, you know, you're still going to do something you're doing is going to just rub someone the wrong way.
Well, and
in general,
not every time that someone's rubbed the wrong way is the
but you don't need a fucking,
I mean, I don't know.
You don't need what do they call them? Being a Karen or a Steve or whatever the term is for a guy.
Well, often what it is it's somebody that has no power anywhere else in their life. So the second they get somewhere, they just take it all the way to the end. Just everybody just chill out.
Calm.
I'll chill out too.
Down. Jesus, Tom, calm down.
I need to calm down. My kid got me hot yesterday.
And it's normal. Like like I've said, my son, he's done some stuff and he said some stuff before with grandma and we've had to have those conversations with him where it's like, hey, you know what? Well, I want to go home and do this. Well, you're going home, but you're not on YouTube. You're grounded. Like we've had to ground our son for like a few days.
Mm-hmm.
I think the longest. I don't know if we've done a week yet, but
the funny thing is they're so much happier when you take it away.
Yeah, we've had to do that where it's like, no, but I'm bored. But I don't give a fuck if you're bored. Like
find something to do. Write your grandparents a card that says, "I'm sorry for being a dick."
Yeah, 175 times. Right. Go get a chalkboard.
Yeah.
And, have them write that on the chalkboard.
Yeah. Sorry, I was a dick. Sorry, I was a dick. I wouldn't have them doing those words.
Something long. So you can just.
No, he is such a sweet kid. He's a very sweet kid. That, in the end, he didn't mean anything by it.
Yeah, I was just going to say, and I don't think he meant to be disrespectful.
But it's just that thing of like, then he kept going with it. I'm like, buddy.
See, and it's funny because so JJ will get in these spoiled moments where he's just like, okay, the other day, it was actually yesterday morning. He was sitting on the couch in a certain spot next to mom.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gets up and Cheeky takes that spot, right? Being a big sister.
Yeah.
Well, no, you didn't call seat back. And he throws this fit. And we're like, just, dude, it's all right. And then he just kept going with it.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, dude, knock it off. Like, I'm not okay. Like, it's a fucking seat,
mm-hmm.
She ain't gonna be there. She's gonna be there forever.
Oh, yeah.
You know, super dramatic. I'm like, dude, no, she's not. I need you to knock it off, or like this isn't gonna be pretty for you.
Well, that was Elliot with the face slapping,
and he was like,
yeah.
And he when he knows when I like say like there's certain I think it's trigger words I might say that he's like, okay,
yep, I've played this to its end. Okay, we're moving on.
Let's go. Or I've done the whole no, please. I want to take this from you. Like I would love to do this. Yeah. Like I'm looking forward to it. Well, so please do it again.
Elena doesn't really do that anymore. Remember back when she was younger, she would do that thing like, I guess I'll just never, ever go outside ever again.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we would call her on it and we'd just say, okay, you don't ever want to go outside again. If that's what you want to say and you want to do that, you will never go do that again. Like, keep saying it. If that's what you want.
It's so funny when kids do it.
Man, like that ended it. And they grow. And I'm not saying that you just are a dick to your kid all the time.
No.
Like, I know I sound like I'm saying this horrible stuff.
You know
I'm
what?
angry and I'm venting things.
Sometimes in life, you need to be a dick to your kid.
Well, there are moments. Like they have to have levels and there has to be consistent. I've talked about this before with kids. Like you have to be consistent with things. You can't be like lovey, 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 and then blow on them out of nowhere for no reason. Yeah, there has to be consistency in what the appropriate behavior is and what it isn't, and you have to be consistent with that as the adult.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
You know what I mean? Like,
you know,
I don't know.
Sometimes you got to be petty with your kid.
Yeah, I think the problem too. Yeah, sometimes there's moments like I think it's okay for a kid
if
to know.
we want to out petty each other, you're not going to out petty me.
Like, I own the petty in this house.
I'm the king of that.
All
right now.
The petty is mine.
Yeah. Like, I'm an adult. I can out petty.
This is my house. If I want to be petty, these are my walls. I'm king of petty.
Yeah,
bro.
I'm gonna take that door.
I've talked about that before. I don't believe a child has a right to a door.
You know,
like, I wouldn't do it under normal circumstances, but if like my kid did something unsafe in their room, like where they thought I was something super disrespectful, you don't get to just be by yourself then.
One of our oldest daughter, I think she had locked the door or something. At least he had mentioned to her, like, no, like, why do you have a lock? You don't need one, whatever. And then one day, Alicia, you need to go in there, door locked. And Alicia was like, no, fuck this. That doorknob, rest in peace. That thing was
a hammer to it.
Looked like she shot it out.
So that Louis cracked me up.
It was like bent and I was like,
Louis called me one day and said, hey, do you think you can fix my bedroom door? I was like, yeah, I think we can like fix it. What happened? Sammy at the time when her stepdaughter Sammy was living, she's put them through hell a little bit. She's
living there. She's still alive.
She's rest in peace. No, she's still alive and well. But at the time, she was going through that teenage crap. She was really into that heavy teenage stuff. Well, Louis, you want to talk about disrespect? Louis does not put up. This is my mother-in-law. Does not put up.
No, she's old school, man.
I mean, like you don't. She's old school, like Hispanic strong woman. You do not disrespect, or your ass is on the street. Like, well, Sammy said something very disrespectful. Slammed Louis' bedroom door with Sammy inside the bedroom, locked it. And Louis kicked the door so hard it exploded in. She broke the entire door.
Probably scared the shit out of her.
She unlocked the thing, threw it open, and Sammy's ass was out. And that's why she needed her door fixed. I got there and I was laughing. I looked. You know how bedroom doors are? Yeah. They're all hollow inside. Yeah. I mean, it looked like a bomb went off. The thing was barely hanging on. I just
picture like in the movies.
Can you imagine Louis doing that? I mean, a 60-something-year-old woman, and she kicked that door to pieces.
With her knees?
I don't know.
Jeez.
Well, there's nothing holding a door. I mean, you think from movies like a bad guy's in your house, just close and lock the door. No, there's nothing holding that door closed. It's a placebo effect.
Yeah, for sure.
But man, I was proud of her. I'm like, Sammy will never do that again.
Oh, dude, she probably scared the shit out of that kid.
Those are those moments. I mean, like, you don't live in that, but there are times where it's good for a kid to realize, like, oh, maybe I don't disrespectfully lock my parent out of the room.
One time, when I got kicked out of the house,
like me and my mom had this big argument and whatever. Well, I start walking to go get the bus because she didn't want to take me to school or whatever. And mind you, I lived out of district and I was going to like run and start. So I was going to the college or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so she would take me there before she'd go to work or whatever. Well, she was late. And then I had mentioned to her, Mom, you could woke yourself up, because she was mad because I didn't wake her up.
Right.
You know, I was like, well, you have an alarm. You could have probably woke yourself
Sure.
up. And she really was really not happy with that.
Yeah.
I'm sick of you guys feeding me shit and this and that. She was pissed.
Disrespect, bro.
I was with and I had my friend Mike over. And so I want to say I was a senior at this time. Oh, no, I wasn't a senior. Yeah, I was. I don't know. Anyway, I fucking start taking off, and then she like gets her car, yells at me and says some stupid shit, and I was pissed, so I fucking grabbed a rock. I did the rock throw, and I fucking chuck it, and it hits the ground and hits underneath the car. Kink. And she reverses. I was like, I probably shouldn't have thrown the rock. You know, there's a level there where I was like, and then I got in the car, and you know, she's pissed. I'm pissed because of the previous conversation.
Yeah.
And then she's just like, I'm tired of people feeding me shit. This, like, she was on this whole woe is me thing. But yeah, after throwing that rock, you know, it's one of those moments like you think kids would learn. As like for me being, I was, 17, 18 at that time.
But you had something innately inside of you that
like realized, oh shit, I probably shouldn't have done that.
Not every kid has that.
Like
truly.
Usually you have that, as an adult or even now, like when you get angry, you kind of just out of anger do something.
Yeah.
And I, to this day, I still will have those outbursts where you're not thinking in the moment.
Right.
And then afterwards, and you're like, ugh.
There's a level 2.
Like it's the rock. As soon as that rock left my hand, I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
Oops. Yeah. And then when she reversed and like, then people's heads are like poking out their house because she's like screaming at the top of her lungs. Like my mom was being pretty psycho that day. Granted, me throwing the rock was probably
justified.
That was justifiable.
Yeah.
Previously, I felt, into this day, being an adult, looking at the situation, I still feel like I was in the right. I, as being the kid, was in the right.
Right.
But then that's when she kicked me out of the house. But yeah, I knew though, like, hey, what I just did was probably not the most respectful. It was kind of an effed up thing.
Right.
But like you said, now kids, they just have this false reality of what's real and what's not. Like,
well, yeah, this idea that
I could do that.
You don't answer to anybody. No one can tell you what to do. Like if an adult tells you to get out of their yard, that's their property. You get out of their yard.
Yeah, for sure.
Like crotchety old man, whoever. There's a reason they don't want you in their yard. Get out of their
my grass. I yelled at my dogs like, get off my grass.
We do laugh about that, but the thing is, that's that person's property. They don't want you there. Respect it and go.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's true.
You don't own the road, no, but you do own the responsibility of being a good, decent neighbor and a human being.
When we're doing like Halloween, this is a good example, like trick or treating. You go to knock on the door or whatever. If like I always have to tell my kids, don't walk through the grass.
Yeah,
right. Even if they're cool with it, like just go around.
Go around.
There's
a walkway for a reason. And that's the thing. Yeah. It's like, you train your brain to do things in a respectful way.
Yep.
For example, you see a piece of garbage on the ground, pick it up, throw it away. Yeah. There's just that level of civility that we're losing.
Unless it's your dad's neighbor.
Yeah. Well,
you leave that piece of garbage on the ground.
No, that's the way that they are. And the little kids, it's not their fault.
I'm calling him a piece of garbage.
Man, I tell you, it's rough. But anyway, to anyone out there dealing with this kind of crap, or not, who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. But
I know. I mean, I had some questions today, but we went.
Today's about respect.
It's about respect,
but we do need a question. We do need a question.
And yeah, I don't know what.
What is respect?
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
I won't ask the Jesus question. Okay. Although I find it, I think I was like high or something when I wrote this question.
WWJD, what would Jesus drink?
What would Jesus drink?
I like it.
I think Jesus did drink though.
Wine. He turned water into wine. He may not have.
If he didn't drink
it, but he was a pusher. He pushed it.
He's like, yeah. Don't drink alcohol. Don't get in. he tests, and that's kind of petty too. That's kind of messed
Man,
up.
I tell you, red wine.
What do
for
they call
me-
that? Gaslight. He gaslighted.
gaslight- Oh, I'll make you drink. the
Don't
wine.
drink no wine, but I'm gonna turn this water into wine.
Yeah. Well, the water used to not be super healthy.
Jesus, I super need some water. I'm
yeah.
dehydrated, bro.
Dehydrated. You haven't eaten in a while. Here's some red wine.
Why did you do this?
You know what the worst alcohol when you're dehydrated and
Probably
hungry? Wine. Wine hits me so bad, and I like wine a lot.
Yeah.
But I
do like
having
wine.
some drinks with Fred the other night, and for the first time in a long time, I was kind of hungover the next day. I
Oh, really?
hated it. Oh,
I haven't had that feeling in a minute, but like,
it's not a good one.
no, wine's so good. I was just talking about wine the other day.
Mhm.
They were talking about the Snoop Dogg wine, which I've been wanting to try. I guess it's really good.
Is it? I haven't tried it.
Faux
but-
shizzle.
Faux shizzle.
Faux cheesy wine. No, I guess my question is,
Yes.
and I
real
thought about
question.
this, is like as a man, husband, boyfriend, whatever you are to your significant other, do you sometimes play dumb? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, and do you do it just out of the benefit for your like significant other?
Sure. I think
Like,
for
you see-
clarity, do you have an example?
Like, hey, do you know how to do this thing? Like, I don't know. The first thing comes to my head is changing a tire,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And say the wife's changing it and she's doing something that's not, she's doing it, she's done it, but she wants to show you or do something. And do you play dumb like, oh, I didn't know that. That's so cool, But really, in reality, you're like, yeah, I already knew how to fucking do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm-
is there a
I'm a-
situation? And I don't mean I don't know why. Like I said, changing tire was the first thing that came to my head.
Yeah.
But like, there's situations where it's like you kind of know that, yeah, but you
Yeah.
just like, you know what, just. She seems happy about it, or she seems pretty thrilled. I don't want to take that from her,
Sure.
so I'm just gonna play stupid and be like, "Oh no, yeah, show me, go ahead." Like,
I will admit I'm not the best at that.
yeah, I'm not.
I'm pretty bad at that, and I need to work on that because respect, right? I mean,
Yeah,
I
but see, that's the thing. Like, I know
Yeah.
they say happy wife, happy life, but like at the same time, it's like she's having that moment, so you don't want to like kind of ruin it,
yeah,
because like there's been situations where I've done that where I'm like, yeah, I've already,
Yeah.
I know what to do.
Lonnie
There it
gets
is.
really upset with me
Oh, okay.
often.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
I guess you know everything.
Yes, I do.
I do. It's called Google. I know everything.
Yeah.
I can be a doctor.
Well, no, but like, there's a lot of times where Blanca will get upset with me, and I don't mean to do this. It's my personality type. Like, I have to voice my thinking,
Yeah, no, I'm the same.
and so she'll say like, "Hey, we should do this." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, no, I don't think so because of this or that or the other thing." Like, I'm thinking out loud. That really doesn't work well. She feels like I'm always just saying no. Or like
Yeah.
her idea is bad. So I'm really bad at that.
Yeah, I sometimes have to explain to Alicia, I'm just saying these things. I'm
Yeah.
not saying no. I'm just saying
Right.
like
No,
I'm
I
just
say
thinking out
no.
loud. I always do that.
Or sometimes it's like, no, it's a bad idea. No.
Yeah, I've done
But
that.
often it's my wheelhouse. It's stuff that I know. Like, we should do this. I'm like, well, no, because that's like the foundation, or that's this, or that's that, or that's like, I
Well,
know details about it.
so
but
Alicia
still.
wanted this planter. I guess that's a good example, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I wanted to say no. I didn't want, and I didn't say yes either. I just like,
She wanted
I
you
didn't
build
want
a
to do it. To be
planter,
honest, she was like, "Yeah, I really like a planter box or whatever." I'm like, and that's how I was. That's how my reaction was. Like, she
Yeah.
didn't see that obviously, but I was walking out the door like, "Fuck, man, I don't want to fucking do this," like.
Yeah.
But she didn't ask me, "Hey, can you do this?" It was just she's asked before, like in that way, and so I was just like,
You felt like it was actually time to do it.
"Yeah, I knew
kind
it
of
was
thing.
like I should probably do this."
Like, I'm
out
going
of
to be in trouble
respect.
pretty soon. If...
Like, and she'll want to jump in and try to do something, and it ends up, I'll end up doing it anyway.
yeah.
Like, and I love the woman, and I know she's super capable of making one, but I
Right.
know eventually it's like when I'm in the kitchen, right?
Yeah.
She ends up taking over somehow. She doesn't mean to take over.
She just does. It's
She
her
just does.
wheelhouse. That's what she likes.
So
to
my
do.
wheelhouse, I'm in. She's in my kitchen. I need to take over.
Right.
It's in that situation. It's kind of
Sure.
like that, like where I just kind of immerse myself into it, and then I start doing it.
Yeah.
And then later on, I'll probably like, well, I did that. Well, I didn't ask you to do that. It's one of those situations where I'll throw it out
implied.
there.
It's implied. Yeah.
But I wanted to like do something in the yard, which I've been doing, and so I got it finished and I was happy about it. So
That's good.
Sometimes you gotta do stuff and that's what I mean. Is just sometimes you play dumb for the woman. Sometimes you got to. I think the women play dumb for us sometimes.
They probably do.
Like
Blanca doesn't as much. I don't know. She's a good woman. She does.
And I don't think they do purpose. I think they do. They see that, maybe we're happy about something or something. There's that reaction that they're like not used to seeing. And they're like, you know what?
I'm gonna
I'll let him have this one. But in reality, like, no, I know. Like, yeah, I'm not an idiot.
Yeah. Well, actually, we had a situation yesterday. I'll end on this. This kid out of nowhere, we were yard sailing, and this high school age guy, I maybe a little older, I don't know. He was younger. He looked at me and goes, "Hey, has anyone ever told you that you look like Ryan Reynolds?" And I'm like taking that second, like, are you talking to me? Like, I was like, no one has ever said that to me, but thank you. And I laughed and go like, you want a job or something? Like, I mean, I know. I think after looking at pictures, we have some similarities in ways. And I'm like, I know I'm not Ryan Reynolds. Like,
yeah. But I mean, still, that's a nice compliment.
That was a really nice compliment. So being me and not having a lot of belief in myself, I wanted my wife's reassurance. Yeah, you look just like Ryan Reynolds. She did not give me that. It turned into something. Yesterday was the funniest thing. And then I got all butthurt.
Of course,
we get butthurt, honey. You told me I look like Ryan Reynolds.
Let me have this for that moment.
Yeah.
Until I realize, obviously, I don't look like Ryan Reynolds.
It was the weirdest thing, though. I mean, he looked at me confused, like, no one's ever told you that. I'm like, I want the whole world to have your eyes, kid, because, like, I don't know.
Hey, that's a good compliment.
But it was nice. It was really nice. Yeah, he was a good kid.
He just wanted you to buy something for fucking.
That's what I thought. I'm thinking this kid lives at this house. He's a good salesman. He wasn't. He was in. I think what he wanted was me to help him with this car he was trying to buy, but I don't know anything about cars. So he's like,
hey, Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Oh, you ain't Ryan Reynolds?
I could have sworn you were him. Deadpool over here.
I know.
I was like, man, I'll take it. I'll take it all day.
I don't know. Those kind of compliments are nice, though.
Well, it was, but
I don't think
problem is if I get a compliment, it's kind of a bad thing. Then it's like I'm looking for that.
Well, no, that's good.
But
it gives our head. Sometimes we need our heads to be a little big, I want my ego up here. Sometimes I think that would help.
Yeah.
Obviously, the wives
are not always good at doing that. They're like, I know you're looking for a compliment, so I'm going to do the opposite.
So
they're grounding.
I know we're a little late over, but anyway, I was going through our podcast, an older one. I'm working on. I have like a few shorts that I'm going to try to have out that I started yesterday. And as I'm going through the podcast, there's a point where we're talking about working out and looking good and how we're like looking in the mirrors and we're like, oh yeah. And I think we talk about how the women really check us when we get to those situations. Yeah. They don't let our egos get too big.
No.
Like, no. Yeah.
Very much grounded.
Yeah. And, you're still fat.
Well, it's such a weird mental space too, because they don't
say that. But.
And I've not gotten in great shape. I'm in
good shape
for me, but like I don't walk by a mirror and be like, ooh.
Well, see,
but there is that mental piece of you when you start putting work into it, you start wanting to see results and you start paying more attention to the mirror. And it is a funny psychology.
Well, that's the thing. Being in shape, I was just telling Lisa this. You could be skinny, 6-pack, but that doesn't mean means you're in shape. You look physically, you look great, whatever. Right. But then there's like, if we were to go to run,
oh yeah,
I could probably outrun this guy that looks like he's jacked and can do
exactly
a million things.
Yeah.
And so
I actually think I'm in probably one of the better overall. I've got body
just because
fat
I'm not like
stuff.
Skinny doesn't mean I'm not in shape.
I'm at the point now, like I'm running pretty consistently. I'm lifting consistently. I don't think there's ever been a time in my life where I did both things at the same time.
Yeah,
I was able to swim across the pool and back on one breath. Last summer, I would have gotten to one end and been like, so it's improving. And that was the biggest thing to me in the beginning of this whole thing. My body was starting to react negatively to the crap I was eating.
Yeah.
I really stay away from the garbage food that I used to. I mean, I'll eat it here and there, but I don't just sit down with a box of crackers. I don't just sit down with a ream of cookies, or
Yeah.
I'll have a dessert here and there, and or like if we're doing a family thing, I'll eat a bunch, or I'll have pizza, or I've really introduced normalcy back to my life. But generally speaking, I'm choosing to eat better throughout most of the time.
Yeah. No,
and I can feel the difference. Like that's the nice part. Your joints feel better.
Yeah.
So I'm
good.
Yeah, I'm happy.
I needed to exercise more.
It's hard, especially now. It's all sunny out. The grass is growing like crazy. There's always stuff to do.
Yeah.
They got a boat to fix.
I know. We got to take that thing out.
Seriously. I
know. My son was asking about fishing yesterday. He's
oh,
like, Papa, I want to go fish.
Seriously, last year we bought our fishing licenses. Did we go once? I don't think we made it out.
Maybe
once. Maybe once when we bought the boat, but the boat didn't work. So
no, it was
this summer. I want to do that again. I want to do that a lot more. But
yeah, well, all right.
Anyway,
I guess we can end there.
Yeah,
we're going fishing.
All right, everybody,
going fishing.
Check out this new outro. Folks. Here we go.
That's a good outro.
I think so.